Holy shit, guys. UFC 324. It was a great card. Didn't do great on my picks, 3 for 5 on the main card. And then I did pick Umar. So if we're counting that, technically 4 for 6. So that's not too bad. 3 for 5 isn't that bad on the main card either. 60%, that's majority accuracy still. So we're not doing terrible. We're not doing terrible. I'm going to do a breakdown of the full card, though, starting from the early prelims, going all the way up to the main event. I know I didn't make bets or predictions on the early prelims or the prelims, but, I do want to give you guys a little breakdown, my insights as a filthy casual on the fights themselves. So let's get right into it. First fight of the night here, we got Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. I'm gonna butcher the names. Let's just move past that right now. I'm not gonna pronounce the names properly because I'm not good at it. Okay, so this was a welterweight bout. The odds were stacked pretty heavily in Ty Miller's favor here, and he did end up getting a fucking TKO with 1 second left. Talk about a buzzer beater, man. So, I'm not gonna lie. Before he did get the finish, it was a competitive fight. Like I was watching and I was thinking, okay, like these guys are, well matched up, or so I thought. I do think Ty Miller would have won the round, regardless of whether he got the TKO or not. He definitely was winning the round, but it was like we saw some more like well-rounded fighting from Adam Fugit here instead of Ty. Ty Miller was kind of pretty much strictly boxing. Adam was definitely throwing the more kicks and mixing it up a little more. But as we can see, the total strikes, like Ty was outperforming him by a lot here. Takedowns, 0 takedowns, none of this stuff, significant strikes. Yeah, and obviously the knockdown that ended up being the finish on this one. Not much to talk about here. I mean, first round fucking TKO. This was his debut as well, so he did really well for his debut. I think we're going to see good things from him in this weight division, Yeah, that's pretty much it for that fight. That wasn't really a whole lot going on there. But this did get performance of the night. I mean, there was a lot going on. It was a good fight. It did get performance of the night. So out of two, there was another fight that also got performance of the night. I didn't realize they even did more than one. Okay, now the heavyweight bout. Definitely gonna kind of run through the early prelims and some of the prelims a little faster because, like I said, I didn't make bets. I didn't, put any predictions on these guys. So I just wanted to give a detailed breakdown of, how I thought the fights went. So we got Josh Hokit versus Denzel Freeman. What a name. What a name. All right. Now, again, we're looking at another first round finish with 1 second left. So buzzer beater twice in a row. Like, that's kind of insane. Josh Hokit, I think, let me check. I got my notes here again. I think, yeah, so Denzel Freeman was like 20, 25 pounds heavier than this guy. So I see this stat and I'm like, holy shit, like that's a lot. That's a big weight difference. But, Josh Hokit was able to secure the victory. He was definitely outstriking him. We saw some wrestling, a little grappling from him in the beginning, but he was definitely outstriking him as well. I think I think Denzel got tired. Like even in the first round, I think he was starting to get tired. And then at the end, he just caught him. Like it was that simple. He got him, did a good takedown. Not good takedown. He did landed a couple big shots, and then boom, he's down. And there were some people who were like, this was an early stoppage. And out of the stoppages in this card, I do think that this was the most controversial one. Like, this was definitely the most controversial stoppage. Also, wild thing, Josh Hauke at one point was on top of him, riding him and spanking him. No, I'm not making that up. I'll put a picture up of him literally spanking Denzel Freeman. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that shit though. I think that's fucked up. Like I think Izzy did it too. You guys are in here fighting. You're doing manly shit. Like, don't do no gay shit like that. I don't. I know you're like, oh, I'm dominating this guy, but that's fucked up, man. Like, cause you don't want somebody to do that to you, right? Like, that's fucked. So, and I guess the biggest thing would be his after fight speech. He did a Chael Sonnen esque, I'm the bee's knees. I'm fucking whatever the fuck. But then he randomly was like, Brittany Griner is a fucking man. And for that, I stand with him. I mean, that was random stray for Brittany Griner, but very funny. Very funny. Effectively, very funny. So yeah, another round 1 TKO. 1 second left of the fight. Pretty awesome. Yeah, as we can see here, he's definitely outstriking him. Like he had like, oh wow, did he have no strikes? What the hell? Interesting. All right. Well, all right. Now on to the prelims. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Down here. Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Now, this was a pretty good fight. All right. Alex Perez won this one, round 1 again. We got a knockout TKO. These fight bonuses are getting us knockouts and TKOs. They were talking about it the whole time the card was going on. They're like, holy shit. So I think it's 25,000 for the bonuses now, and then 100,000 for like performance of the night and fight of the night. And it was definitely apparent that people were trying to finish fights. So that's fucking awesome. Charles Johnson's got the goddamn skullet. I wish we could like spin him around in this. You know what? I'll put up a picture of that too. He's got just hair in the back here. It's very odd guy. Another round 1 finish, which was awesome. This one, not a buzzer beater though, but still a round 1 finish. I'm not going to lie. At first though, Charles Johnson wasn't doing bad. Alex Perez was definitely like, he would have won the round, I think, anyway, but Charles Johnson was doing okay. He was countering not terribly. He had some good exchanges as well. I do think that he definitely won this round, regardless of the TKO. He would have won the round. So the total strikes here, as we can see, he was striking way more. Significant strikes, same. Like he had a couple. And then he knocked him down once or early. And I'm like, oh, this is it. I thought he was knocked out. I really did. I was like, this guy's knocked out. He's not getting back up from that. That's done. Like his eyes like rolled into the back of his head. I was like, you hear DC say the same thing. Like, oh, no, it's over. Ugh, sorry. And yeah, I didn't see, people were calling this an early stoppage too, because he gets knocked down once, then they knock him down again. And, the ref steps in and he like, then you see Charles crawl across the cage here and try to, I guess, attempt some type of takedown. The ref's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, you're out. You're done. So, I thought that was perfectly fine as a stoppage. There was a little controversy with that. I think most of the stoppages on this card were fine. The only one that I was a little bit skeptical of was Ty Miller versus Adam Fugit there. So yeah, another round 1 TKO. Let's go. We're doing really well. And he was the favorite too. I didn't even realize that till just now looking at it. Charles Johnson was the favorite. I guess the fucking odds makers do not know what the hell they're talking about. But yeah, Alex Perez clearly won that one. All right. Now, got the light heavyweight bout. Krylov versus, holy fuck, how do you say that? Bukauskas. I was listening to them say it, like trying to practice, but then I just was like, nah. This was no, I guess this one didn't. Yeah, I thought this went to the decision, but it didn't. This was our longest fight of the night up to this point when we were watching this. So, Krylov versus Bukauskas. Bukauskas? I don't know. Krylov is a killer. I've seen him fight before, and I'm not surprised by this performance at all. So round 1, we saw some grappling for sure. And did he have any takedowns in round 1? No, he had a knockdown though. He was just, I don't know. They definitely have 2 very different fighting styles, but they're almost a similar build. So it was a very interesting fight to watch. Oh, he did have a takedown. He had 1 takedown, and then he was just outstriking him on the feet as well for round 1. And oh wow. Okay, so he got back up quick after that, but there was just he definitely took round 1. I thought he won every round, in my opinion. I thought Krylov won every single round. And then round 2, similar thing. He's getting just outstriking him and then, we did see Bukauskas have some luck with some counters off of left hooks, but shortly after that, Krylov made that adjustment, and he was trying to hit him with the left hook when he wasn't there. It was pretty much that simple. Same thing with significant strikes. He's getting out. He was getting outstruck. He was being outstriked. I don't know. Oh, I didn't even know they did this breakdown stuff. Look at this. This is cool. Okay. So, yeah, as we see, he's 100% on the head here for round one. Same with round two. Not really throwing a lot to the body or anything. Couple leg kicks in round one. And then round three, same thing. Basically just hitting him in the head. Distance, clinch. Yeah, okay. So the clinch is where it got interesting. Round two, I think it was round two, they started to do some clinch work against the cage, and they were kind of fighting for control over that. We saw, a little back and forth from both of them, but in the end, Krylov was able to win this one. So round three, what happened was he dropped him, and then he fell down, went to the cage, and then just hit him again. Boom, and he just falls flat. That was no question on early stoppage on that one. That guy was done. So yeah, that was a good fight. That was a great fight. Krylov, I think, called out Jan at the end, which I thought was a weird call out because I didn't think that was like a competitive. I mean, Jan's great. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's at the end of his rope, at the end of his line. So I thought that was weird. As someone if you're gunning for a title shot, Jan's not going to be the guy I call out. Next, okay, this was interesting. Gutierrez versus Pelayev here. Now, this was our first fight of the night in sequence here that went to decision, and that was insane. You couldn't have guessed that. I'm pretty sure the odds for this to go the distance were plus 630. So, like, if you bet this to go the distance, you did very well. Yeah, Gutierrez did end up winning. But honestly, it was a competitive fight. Like, I really thought Gutierrez was going to just come out here and either knock this. I mean, he's got finishes. That's what he does. He finishes people. I thought he was going to come out here and knock this guy out or, severely dominate him. But, Pelayev held his own. I didn't think it was that crazy, honestly. In round one, though, the off rip, round one, Gutierrez? I don't know. Atiba here floors him with a right hand. Just boom, like knocks him down. And I'm like, holy shit. At that point, I'm like, this fight is not going the distance. Right away, he gets floored with a right hand. And I was like, wow, this guy's got power. Well, people are, he's getting compared to like Yoel Romero. So they say he's like hard to hit or feels like, he's made of concrete. Like people are hitting him and they're hurting themselves. So let's look at so both guys for the first round were pretty much only hitting each other in the head. There wasn't a lot of, movement. We did see some more kicks from Pelayev here, but I think Pelayev definitely was nervous. Oh, shit. I just went up to the prelims, or to the main card, my bad. Was definitely starting to get nervous here. Same thing. So for round two, yeah. Total strikes. Now, look at this. I didn't realize this. Round one, Pelayev did have more strikes, but significant. Oh, wow. No, he had more significant strikes, too. So they could have given round one to Pelayev. Interesting. But 2 knockdowns. So that's where that happens. Got knocked down once there early, and then I think he gets knocked down again due to what happened there. How did he get knocked down again? I watched all these fights this morning and took notes, but my handwriting's so bad I can barely tell. Oh, he fell down on the kick. Yeah. So Pelayev threw a kick, hit him in the body, and fell down. I don't know if it hurt him so much, like it was just couldn't move him. Boom, fell down on his own attack. So that was kind of wild. And then we get into round two. Wow, he was outstriking him round two as well. Interesting. But the problem is, like, Pelayev may be outstriking him, but Atiba's strikes are so much more powerful than Pelayev. Like, it's not really doing much to Atiba. Like, he was eating those and countering with stuff that was way more complicated back, or way more like stronger, not complicated, but just stronger stuff back. He was doing really well though, Pelayev, with this body kick jab. He would like kick to the body and follow it with a jab, and that was working. That was working very well for him this round, and he did get knocked down twice. Or nope, he did. Yeah, got knocked down twice though, and we saw a lot more body kicks this round. Takes us into round three. So this is when people are starting to say, okay, Pelayev is actually like competing here. And honestly, this is a matchup that I thought wasn't that great. I was like, this matchup isn't good. You know, Atiba's gonna run right through this guy. I think Pelayo was like 1-1 in the UFC, so that was kind of wild. I was in shock that he was able to hold his own. So round 3, same thing. You know, he's outstriking them, but they're just not as powerful it seems. Let's see what the strikes by target were. Okay, he did land. This is where he's landing some. He went 100% to the head. No body, no leg, really, for the last round. And then the clinch. Okay, the clinch is where it was getting kind of interesting. They didn't stay in the clinch for terribly long, but we did see some decent exchanges in there from both guys. And then also Gutierrez started to kind of pick it up with some teep kicks in this third round here, and he was just able to just outperform him. We did see a lot of circling from Pelayo, a lot of circling and making Atiba miss that hook. So he kept throwing this hook. He was doing great at staying at a distance where Atiba couldn't really hit him too well. He was forcing him to miss his hook by circling out. But in the end, they did give the unanimous decision to Atiba, although I thought it was a fairly close fight and a very good one. Okay. Umar versus Figueiredo. This is what I'm talking about. This was one of my picks. I didn't put this on my Instagram. I should have. And I was right. And I said, bet your house. I said, bet your car, bet your parents' house, bet your parents' car, bet your parents, bet your babies, whatever. And I was right because Umar won this and he dominated the entire time. I don't think there was a single round that was up for debate. Not in my opinion, anyway. So, Deiveson, Figueiredo, Umar Nurmagomedov. Obviously, being a Nurmagomedov, we knew he was probably going to win this fight, right? Now, that's not to say Deiveson didn't have his moments, but definitely Umar dominated this entire fight. As you can see, like total strikes throughout the fight, he's outstriking him by a lot, taking him down a lot, and significant strikes were way more as well. Also, the odds, it was negative 1,400. So I felt so comfortable telling everyone to bet this guy. Like, what are the chances he's going to lose this right now, Round 1. Now, round 1 was interesting. Umar was keeping him at distance with his legs really well. Like, he was kicking him and keeping him far away from him the whole time. So Deiveson couldn't really get in there and do, good work in the clinch, which would be maybe where he would have an easier time and better time getting at Umar. So Umar did a great job at keeping him kind of away from him by utilizing his kicks. He's got great head kicks, great body kicks, some kicks to the legs as well. And then, we just saw domination in round 1 pretty much. Now, towards the end of round 1, we did see, him pick it up a little bit, but not much. Round 2, same thing. He's outstriking him. Significant strikes and just total strikes in general. We also did see, though, he caught some kicks and was able to counter off that a little bit. Deiveson, he caught some kicks and was able to throw some counters, but nothing that was overly, powerful or overstimulating Umar here. Deiveson was just too much pressure, honestly. It was a good idea to keep the pressure on and try to, not give Umar really time to think, but it just wasn't working. They say, we didn't see a lot of grappling or wrestling. We saw some, but, Umar's definitely a striker. I agree. Joe Rogan said that. They're like, oh, this guy's grappling. No, he's a striker. He pretty much stood up most of this time. Now, was it round 2 that they got down in? No, that was round 3. Okay, so round 3, again, just outstriking, and then we have a takedown. We saw the takedown, had him against, I think, the cage at first, and then flipped it and took him down. This was interesting. Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. This was interesting. We saw some wild ground and pound at the end here from both fighters, and it was great. Now, at one point, because in round 2, Deiveson had some great pressure in the final seconds, some quick pay, and he goes back to his corner and he's smiling. But if he had kept that momentum the entire time, maybe he would have had, some better odds, but he didn't. So he ended up losing round 3. Yeah, it was just total domination, but not anything crazy. Like he definitely dominated the fight and won, but not enough to maybe secure his spot for a title shot. I don't think that. I don't see him getting a title shot after this, even though he is, what is he, the number 2 contender, I think, but I just don't see. I don't think he did enough for a title shot in my opinion. All right, on to the main card. Arnold Allen versus Jean Silva. Another prediction I was right about. Told you, Arnold Allen has baby hands. This was a very competitive fight, though. This did not go exactly how I thought it was going to go. I definitely thought Jean Silva was going to dominate a little more. I even think that round 1 probably could have went to Allen. I think Allen probably won round 1, in my opinion. But as we see, a lot more strikes from Silva, takedowns, 4 takedowns. And then significant strikes was a little closer. Because like I said, Allen does do a good job against pressure fighters, but Silva's another. He's a different animal, man. He's literally a dog. He's barking as wild. So, yeah, we saw definitely some more kicks from Allen in the first round than we did. And see this, all right, this is exactly why I was saying that he probably won round 1. Allen probably won round 1. He landed more strikes, more significant strikes. I think he won round 1. It was slow. It was definitely slow at first, and it seemed like Silva was like waiting for an opportunity. It almost looked like he was waiting with his right hand. Like if you watch, his right hand isn't moving at all. He's got his right hand just kind of staying still, and he's only moving with his left hand. He's waiting. He wants a knockout. Like that's what he's looking for. And it was kind of interesting to see him slowing down a little because we don't see that from Silva. He's fast. He's on, he's on the gas trying to get this guy out of here. He's got a lot of knockouts, but we saw him waiting for an opportunity, and that was where Allen was able to kind of capitalize and use his range to, throw some kicks, throw some good 1-2s out there, and just keep him, keep tagging him. Nothing crazy, nothing with crazy damage, but enough to win him the round, in my opinion. All right, round 2. Round 2, Silva lands a takedown. But we do see that Allen's not scared because right after the takedown, he gets back up, starts swinging again, and he's doing really well. He's got these like body hooks that are definitely landing on Silva. It doesn't seem to be affecting him terribly, but they looked hard. They looked like they were hurting. Silva maybe just has a good poker face. This is where we start to see the turn, though. Like more strikes for Silva. He got the first takedown. More significant strikes for Silva as well. I think in round 1, though, he started pointing at the ground and being like, all right, let's go. I thought he had takedowns in round 1. This is saying no, but I guess they weren't scored as takedowns. He had them on the ground in round 1. Anyway, round 2, like I said, he's pointing to the ground. He wants this guy to stand in front of him, stand and bang. And Arnold Allen had said at one point that he wasn't afraid to do that. Do I think he was afraid to do it? No. Well, do I think he was being smart by not doing it? Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, round 2. Yeah, as we see, he's getting hit in the head a lot, and then he's got a lot more leg shots and a lot more like a little bit more body shots he's throwing too, as well. He definitely was throwing more kicks than Silva, but Silva definitely took this round. All his shots are landing twice as hard as Allen's. Allen's shots aren't doing nearly as much damage as Silva's, and Silva definitely won this round fairly easily, in my opinion. Now we get on to round 3. Silva's doing really well, slipping. He actually has really good defense this round, and he's countering very well. He countered a takedown attempt from Allen. Yeah, 2 of them actually. We see him slip. He does. So Allen throws a head kick, he slips it. Allen throws another head kick, he slips it, and then he's like, "Yo, like, hey, let's touch hands." Like that was cool, right? And Allen's like, "Yo, fuck you, bro." There was definitely some turmoil during the fight. I think it was it round 1 or round 2. Allen ended up pushing him like in between the round, like because he was just staring at him. Allen was trying to the first round, I think, and Allen was trying to touch gloves, and he was just like Silva's just kind of staring at him, and he just pushes him. I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is fucking serious shit here. These guys are pissed. But yeah, round 3 looks like total strikes was a little bit of a closer round, but he landed 3 takedowns. So it's not 3 in the round, but round landed 2, so for a total of 3 takedowns. And that's definitely what was securing him the win, was takedowns and just being a better striker overall. He was outstriking him, and he was landing combinations really well. At the end, he started throwing some really wild ones. So yeah, I was right about this one. I wasn't right about all of them, but I was right about this one. I was going to say we're going to move on, but I did want to bring up that at the end of the fight, again, though, was Silva with this like mockery in the ring. I thought maybe he would have learned something from the Lopez fight, but he did not. He's doing a bunch of nonsense in the ring still. He's like licking his lips and going like this if he missed the shot or whatever. It was, I think that's unprofessional. I think that will be a downfall for him in the future. I don't think that's a good move. So yeah, I don't know. We saw at the very end, you know, he's got him, Allen's down on the ground, and Silva stands up on his back. At one point during round 3, I believe he was screaming too. He's like screaming and throwing punches. I'm like, this is insane. The back thing also I thought was unprofessional, but you know, it was a little funny. So I see he's weird. I see he's crazy. That's why he does it, and he's definitely ready. I think that if he does another fight or two, they will give him a title shot. All right. Now this fight was very interesting. Natalia Silva versus Thug Rose Namajunas. I don't know how to pronounce that. Flip my page. Got 2 pages of notes. Not that I can really read them. But I was right about this one too. So Silva won, although controversial. A lot of people are saying Rose got robbed, and I can see why they're saying that. I obviously am biased. Silva was my pick, so I think she won. But I see why people are saying that. Round 1 wasn't much to score. We saw a lot of feints from both fighters, but especially from Silva. She was feinting a lot and, you know, throwing a lot of kicks. And that was something I said in my prediction would maybe be a problem for Rose, but it didn't seem to be, at least for the first round. And yeah, there wasn't a lot to score. Rose was staying out of range, so it was hard for, you know, Silva to really land anything. And she was winning some exchanges, though. Rose was definitely winning some exchanges. They were both exchanging well, though. It's definitely difficult to say who won that round. Obviously, they gave it to Silva, I believe, the judges. But I see this is where the controversy comes in. Like round 1, who got it? Because the next 2 rounds were definitely very prominent of who won the rounds. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is... Oh, really? So she had actually more strikes and more significant strikes. They were all her strikes were significant strikes, apparently, this round. But yeah, I don't know. She threw more punches, though, so it's really tricky math. I do think that I could see Rose getting this round, but I think Silva won it. Again, biased. I wanted her to win, so tricky. Now, round 2 is where we see, you know, almost a flip of a switch here. So Rose is staying, again, just outside her range. She's got good defense, and she's doing well grappling and clinching. The cage side clinching was a like tossing, turning. You know, they're both trying to gain control there. And then eventually Rose lands a takedown. So this is like crazy. But yeah, she had way more total strikes and way more significant strikes, and that's definitely her round. Like, she took round 2, no debate, no questions asked. She won round 2. And honestly, I'm not surprised this fight went the way it did. When I was making my picks, I almost picked Rose. Because her name's Thug Rose. Like, that's thug as fuck. But I didn't. So I was right again. Pretty good. But it was so close. Like, this fight was, oh my gosh, this fight was close. Round 2, you know, Silva was kind of having a hard time really tracking her down and getting to a good spot. And I think that Rose was winning in the clinch. I think that she was winning clinch exchanges. So that's tricky. It was a tricky one. And not much happened on the ground, really. You know, there wasn't a lot of like stuff going on. Nothing to really score, I thought. But I'm not great at scoring ground, so I could be wrong. I'm not a judge. And then moving on to round 3, this was definitely Silva's round. So that's why there's so much debate. It's because round 1 was such a toss-up, and round 2 definitely Rose. Round 3 definitely Silva. So I was almost in shock. I was like, what is going on here? Like when she won, I was a little bit like, wow, you know. But also, you see this happen a lot where maybe the fighter who's, you know, on a win streak or maybe a little more of a favorite does end up, if they have a good third round, like maybe they get a little, you know, I think the judges may give a little leeway. So in round 3, yeah, she definitely, you know, Silva dominated round 3. She had more strikes. She had her own takedown and more significant strikes, which makes a lot of sense. She was throwing head kicks and they were landing, you know, not all of them, but some of them. She was countering. She was countering very well this time. And her takedown defense was really good. She attempted another takedown, stuffed it, and sprawled. So that was great. And they definitely tried to keep it on the feet for the most part, but there was a lot of time while they were on the ground. Silva definitely won that one, but it was close. It was a close fight. Very close fight. All right. Now, Acosta versus Lewis. Right again. Boom. At this point, like while I'm watching the fights, I'm thinking I'm a genius. I've been right this entire time. I'm like, wow, I'm fucking smart as fuck. But we will soon see that I did have some downfalls. All right, this was a good fight. This was the only finish, I believe, on the main card. Yep. And it was a good fight. But pretty much exactly what I said was going to happen, happened. I was pretty spot on with this one. Acosta's faster. He's younger. He's faster. Better cardio. And Lewis, not so much. He's got knockout power. You know, he is the king of it only takes one. You know, and he not that he couldn't have knocked him out. He just didn't. It didn't happen. That's not how it went down. So round 1, he wins Acosta on strikes, takedowns. He had one takedown. The takedown was good. I believe he threw a kick, threw him down. So the only problem I saw with the takedown, who was reffing this? Herzog? I think it was Herzog. Is immediately after the takedown, he's like, do some work or let him up, do some work or let him up. And this is immediately. And I'm like, what the fuck? He just took him down. He just immediately got to the ground. And, you know, I thought that was a little ridiculous. And I was a little pissed at Herzog for that. I was like, what the hell is this? He can't, like, you know, maybe go down. You don't know what's about to happen. He literally just took him down. So that was definitely a little interesting in my opinion. Lewis did come out throwing some high kicks, and that was pretty interesting. Honestly, I didn't know he could throw kicks quite so high. I mean, I knew he could, but those ones were really good. They weren't really landing too crazy. Again, Acosta just too fast, too young, too fast, and he was able to get out of the way of pretty much everything that Derrick Lewis was throwing. I'll take a sip of my water here. They both seemed fearful of a KO. You know, you saw it from both of them. A little bit of pulling, a little bit of like, you know, maybe a little nervous. They both know they have that knockout power. So you see this sometimes with heavyweights where they're, you know, not really going in for anything too crazy, maybe feeling each other out for the first round. And yeah, so that's how that went down. Significant strikes. Yeah, do I have anything else in my notes here? Yeah, Derrick just couldn't close the distance, you know. Costa did take him down, but let him back up eventually after Herzog was crying. So, yeah, round 2 is where we see the finish, man. In round 2, this is great. This is where we see Acosta find a good rhythm, hiding behind, you know, staying behind that jab, just continuously spamming that jab. Just that was his best weapon. He's throwing jabs, and it's just working really well. And yeah, see, total strikes way higher, significant strikes way higher. We did see Derrick Lewis throwing some wild rights, you know, trying to land. And anytime he would go for a combination exchange, you know, he would miss pretty much everything because Acosta would just back up every time, then come back in with jabs. Back up, come back in with jabs. And if you saw how much Derrick Lewis was sweating, you'd be like, holy shit, this guy is perspiring. Like, he was sweating a lot. And you see Acosta looks calm. He looks chill. He doesn't look like he's really, you know, worried. Like, the cardio's good still. He's feeling good. And then what ended up stopping him was just a soft, very soft right hand, and he kind of slipped, sat him down. And then I think, this is my thought, Derrick was like, oh, I'll just lay here. And Herzog, since how Herzog loves me, and Herzog's like, you know, wants to suck his dick or something, was just like, he was thinking, yo, Herzog's going to let me come back up. He's going to tell Acosta to fucking let me back up, basically. But that's not what happened. Acosta jumped on his ass and started fucking grounding and pounding. And then, you know, it got called 3 minutes in to the second round. So I'm not surprised by that, and that makes a lot of sense. So that was literally what I said. I said if Derrick does not get a knockout, this fight will not go to the decision. I said, yeah. So I said this fight won't go to decision, and Derek Lewis would need a knockout to win, and that was true. If it did go to the decision, Acosta would have won anyways, but he was able to finish him, and I'm not surprised. And, age does become a factor eventually. All the legends get old, and this is what happens. I don't know what's next for Derek Lewis. That is a very good question. When's he gonna retire? Eventually you kind of have to retire. You can't just do this forever. He's 40. I don't know. We'll see. All right. The first time, at this point, this was the first time that I was wrong on the card. Sean O'Malley did win against Song Yadong. However, controversial. A lot of people are saying Song got robbed. I'm continuously hearing it over and over. Song got robbed. Song got robbed. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Except for I'm not. I do believe Sean O'Malley won this fight. I am agreeing with the judges. I think he won the first and the third round. However, I do see where the controversies are coming from. It does make sense in itself. So I understand what's going on. They're both very springy, fast, and off the rip, especially. So round one, yeah, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing them both come out. They're pretty springy. Okay, and see, this is part of the reason why people are giving round one to Song Yadong. He has more strikes. Now, significant strikes, O'Malley, but he had more strikes and he had the takedown. So it's, I see why maybe people would give him round one, but I don't think so. I think the significant strikes were enough to give it to O'Malley. And I definitely think O'Malley won this round, but I do think it was competitive. We weren't seeing anybody coming out here and killing somebody, So I thought that was a very competitive fight. Round two. This is where we switch it up. This is where things start getting serious. I thought Song won this one. I think everyone thought that. And, from the stats here, it looks like he won that. Total strikes, he landed another takedown. Significant strikes were better. He definitely won this round. He was fighting a great fight this round. And we saw a lot of stuff. Song was winning exchanges and, landing and catching him. He would catch his body kick and land a hook. And he kept doing these hooks and low kicks. And he basically controlled the entire round. He definitely won this round. There was no doubt in my mind that he won this round. You can see it in Sean O'Malley's face at the end of the round. He's like, fuck, I just lost that round. Round three, this was definitely O'Malley's round. So there's no debate from me here. This was O'Malley's round, no doubt. As we can see, more total strikes, more significant strikes. Just overall, this was his round. Him being the heavy, the odds were close, I guess, and that makes sense. I'm not surprised the odds were close. Song did really well. Song fought a great fight. So, all respect to him. I think O'Malley was a little overzealous. I think he thought maybe he would come out here and just absolutely destroy him, but that is not what we saw in round three. We did see Song fail a takedown. O'Malley he just kind of started to find his rhythm. He was fighting cleaner. He had good defense, good counters, and he had a great counter off a single leg. He definitely won. So, yeah, that was the first pick where I was fucking wrong. Fuck you, Sean O'Malley. When I think you're going to lose, you win. When I think you're going to win, you lose. Fuck you, man. He went back to his original walkout song, so, yeah, that's what ended up happening there. We didn't see Song utilize any of his eye pokes. However, we did see some eye pokes. Let's get in to the main event. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Oh my God, what an upset. I guess it's not that crazy according to odds, but I think they were higher at the time. Anyway, fight went the distance. We saw Paddy's fucking chin is in fact made of granite, and you cannot knock out this fucking scouser. We also saw Justin is just as violent as ever. Look at the total strikes on these guys. Just in general, this is a lot of strikes. Takedowns, significant strikes, knockdowns. This is wild. Now, round one, we see Justin pushing forward. And he gets that, but he's pushing forward. First, we see, I think he came out with some kicks and stuff, Paddy came out with some kicks, and it's looking like it's going to be, maybe Paddy will win this. Kind of off rip. First few seconds, I'm thinking that. Then, boom, Paddy gets knocked down. I'm like, holy shit. And I thought it was over because, he gets knocked down. And Justin's running on top of him, trying to hit him. Was able to cover up and get back to his feet, but it was definitely an extremely, extremely hard punch, an extremely crazy knockdown. We did see some great uppercuts from Paddy. That was probably his best weapon in the first round here. He was throwing some good uppercuts, definitely doing not too bad in the clinch. This was a close round, but I definitely would give it to Justin. In my opinion, just based off strikes in that insane knockdown. However, this is where we see the first eye poke of the night. Justin's trying to range him out, pokes him in the eye. Do I think it was an accident? Yes, I think it was an accident. However, who's the ref? Mark Goddard, I think, was telling him prior to that, close your hand, close your hand, close your hand. He gave him a stern warning and no point. He was like, listen, if you don't close that, like if it happens again, you're getting a point. So we didn't see any points, so that wouldn't have affected the scorecards at all. I think Justin clearly won the first round. And he had some great ground and pound. Going into round 2, they're starting to look a little sloppy. This is where we see the kind of descent of the technicals of this fight. So, yeah, I don't know. This is where things start to look a little, I guess, yeah, just sloppy, But clearly this was Justin's round. Justin won this round easy. He actually ended up landing some takedowns, and he was doing really well. He would get this front headlock and then just landing strikes off that headlock. And that was really helping him out a lot. He was just landing some punishing shots in the second round. And again, we see, Paddy, don't get me wrong, Paddy's fighting back. He's definitely being mixing the martial arts better. He's throwing kicks and, but we don't see him grappling. He's not doing it, He's letting Justin do it more than himself. It's wild, which we know he's the better grappler, but he did, what? I appreciate that. He's a man of his word. He said he would stand and bang with him, and that's what he did. He stood and banged with Justin Gaethje, and only the best of the best can do that. This was clearly Justin's round, like I said. No debate here. Now, round 3, this is where we start to see things take a turn, or so I thought. At this point, Paddy realizes he's probably thinks he lost the first 3 rounds. He's like, holy shit, I got to pick it up a notch. And he does. He keeps tagging Justin with this jab. Justin is slipping into the jab constantly, over and over and over. Dipping his head off, boom, Paddy's hitting him with the jab every single time. Almost, probably 90% of the time it's landing. And Justin's off balance because Paddy's been throwing leg kicks. So we see a lot of leg kicks from Paddy as well. A lot of, kicks in general, some kicks to the body and stuff. We saw some spinning stuff from both guys. Well, yeah. Paddy clearly won this round, though. He had more significant strikes. He had a crazy flurry towards the end of the round. He's just hitting him, and then throws a knee up the middle. Boom. Hits Justin in the balls, apparently. Paddy's pissed off that Justin called that, but it does make sense. It clearly did. They did the replay. It did clearly hit him in the nuts. Obviously an accident as well. Big props to him, though. He, didn't wait around. Neither did Paddy, though. When Paddy got poked in the eye, he took a minute, maybe a minute, less than a minute, and he was telling the doctor right away, nah, I'm good. I just needed a second. I'm good. He didn't Tom Aspinall and ruin the whole main event. Good job on Paddy and good job on Justin for the same thing with the kick to the groin. So, knee to the groin. My apologies. And yeah, Paddy was outstriking him significantly and total strikes in general. Let's see where he was landing for the most part. Yeah, landing mostly to the head, some to the body, and some to the leg. See, all right, same thing, clinch. They say Justin's winning the clinch. Nope, not in round 3. There was not really any clinching. On to round 4. Now, at this point, in between round 3 and 4, I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Next 2 rounds are Paddy's. He wins the fight. I'm 4 for 5. But I was wrong. That is not what went down. We see Justin realize he's got to lock the fuck back in. He starts striking more. He lands his own takedown. And he did lose on significant strikes, apparently, but he definitely won this round. There's no debate there from me. Again, with that front headlock and punishing punches after that front headlock. We see him win every clinch exchange that there is. When they're in the clinch, though, Justin throws a knee as well, and it hits Paddy in the groin. Doesn't get called, though. We don't see a wait for Paddy. Now, is this where the second eye poke comes in? Because there is a second eye poke. Oh, no, that was round 2. Fuck, I'm sorry. I missed that. My bad, guys. Round 2, coverage of the second eye poke. We're back. Anyway, so this was clearly an accident. However, a point didn't get deducted, and this is where we're seeing controversy. MMA Guru's crying about this. I'm not. I don't care. Even though Paddy was my pick as well. Justin, I believe, throws a left, and his thumb goes in his eye, which means his hand was like closed because it was like this. Boom, hits him in the eye, and then drops him with that right hand, and we see him covering up again. It's crazy. I cannot believe Paddy was able to not, withstand this and not get knocked out during this fight. That was fucking insane, but it was clearly an accident. However, Marc Goddard did say it would be a point, and it wasn't. But I think that's because his hand was closed. If you watch the replay, his hand was closed, and, obviously that means it was an accident. All right, back to round 4. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not the greatest. Yeah, round 4, very intense. Again, like I said, he was really doing good off those front headlocks, really punishing after that. Clearly Justin's round. Now, round 5. I think maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say this was Paddy's round. I thought maybe Paddy won this round. I think it was a closer round than these stats are saying here. But again, maybe I'm a little biased. But I thought he won this round. Could have been wrong, though. They're both just swinging, though. Both of these guys. Justin is winning the clinch exchanges for sure. Paddy gets a takedown. And we see a really good combo from Paddy at one point. Both these guys are still throwing combos, and they're both tired. You could tell how tired they are at the end of this fight, but they're both still throwing combos. Paddy did the best when he was in the middle of the octagon, and then Justin did his best when Paddy's back was to the octagon, and he could, was able to hunt him down better. At the end of this round, though, we see Paddy going in. He's got this crazy combo rolling. Swings, misses, falls. Justin swings, misses, falls. Very sloppy ending. For a decision, Justin Gaethje won. 3 for 5, but really 4 for 6. Not great, but not too bad. A very good card. The real reason Paddy lost, because he vapes during camp. We all know. And also because of his stupid, dumbass commercial with fucking Alexa or Google Plus or whatever the fuck it was. That was stupid. He's soft now. He's soft because he has kids. Justin, he's all about this fucking sport. I don't even think he has a girlfriend. He smokes weed and he fucking trains. But yeah, this is a very interesting fight. And now everyone's saying Ilya is going to walk through the winner, Justin. And Ilya made a tweet about how crazy it was that Paddy didn't beat this guy. But big upset for me. Not really a big upset for a lot of... I'm not upset. I actually really like Justin. But just as far as my picks go, I was definitely wrong on this one. Very good fight, though. Great performance from both fighters. Got fight of the night again. Obviously, the highlight. He does it every time. It totally deserved fight of the night. I'll put a picture of Paddy's face. It was fucking insane. But yeah, that's my full review for UFC 324. I know I was fumbling over my words a lot because I'm not that great, but I'm getting better. I'm going to get better at this. And next time, I'm going 100% on my picks. If you guys would like to see me pick the full card, please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Also, check out my podcast called Handling It, no G, Handling It, on YouTube and Spotify. Peace.